Hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Chance, and today I'm going to be reviewing the board game Hot Streak. So Hot Streak, you're going to be playing as degenerate gamblers at a local mascot race. Very familiar experience to most of us, I would assume. So for this review, we're going to do things a little bit different because generally I'd start with an overview of kind of the rules of the game to give you the context of the pros and cons that I'll be discussing later. But for this one, let's just play. So I've already got things mostly set up here. I've got all the betting tiles out because we are going to be gambling, and we're about to set up the deck and the racetrack. So let's get the racetrack out. Racetrack ready. And let's bring our racers out. We got Mum, we got Dangle, we got Hurley, and Gobbler. So now each racer is going to have a base card that we're just going to put out in front of them for now. And then finally, for the race deck, we are going to initialize it with a number of cards based on the player count. So for 4 players, we're going to be doing 10 cards. I've already got a race deck, all the cards shuffled here, so we're just going to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then each player is going to get 3 cards into their hand. So 1, 2, 3. Then the rest of these cards can be returned to the box. They will not be needed for the remainder of the game. So I'll give everyone their cards there. Here you go. These are mine, and those go over here. Then I'm just going to reveal the rest of these cards that were initialized for the race deck. We got a green card, we got Hurley, Dangle, Gobbler, Hurley, Mum, and Mum. So now the race is set up, and hopefully you can see that this is an incredibly fast setup, which is great for a party style game. That means you can get into it really fast. Now you run into the issue with a lot of party games, right? This is the teach. This is where you can kind of lose people, and people don't really want to learn new games. But this one's also fantastic because I think this is really easy to teach. The way this game is going to work is that players are going to be drafting these betting tiles, just stating who they think is going to win, or potentially bet on this side bet, which we'll come back to. But the way that we're going to determine what the odds are of someone winning is you're going to look at the initial cards in this race deck. This will give you an idea of the movement for each of these mascots during the race. Because what's going to happen is we're going to take this race deck before the race begins, shuffle it up, burn 3 cards off the top, and then we just start flipping cards and processing them. Once the race begins, players have no control over what happens. So these cards, there's going to be a variety of them. Most of them are just going to be movement. So we see here Mom has a movement value of 3 on this one. We got some with movement values 2s and 1s. There's also a star card here for Gobbler. That just means he's going to move to the next open star space. So that can be a big jump for a mascot. Then there's going to be some other interesting keywords on these. There's going to be things like turn around, which is going to cause the mascot to just turn around and face the wrong direction. Now all movement is done in the opposite direction. We have a fall down here for Dangle. That just means the mascot falls down in their current space. Then there's also going to be things like swerve right and swerve left. So the mascot is going to move and then swerve into another lane. There can be any number of mascots in the same space, and mascots can run into each other and knock each other down. Then some of the rules are going to be that if a mascot runs off the track, they're DQ'd. If a mascot is already fallen down and they get run over by another mascot, they've kind of been trampled. They're not getting back up into that race. They're also DQ'd. Then we're just going to, there's also another card in here called the recover card. So that is whatever the state the mascot is in. If they're falling down, if they're facing the wrong direction, the recover card says pick them back up, face them in the direction of the starting line, and then move them. Then there's going to be some green cards in the deck here. Maybe, they're not guaranteed. But the green cards are interesting because they're gonna apply to all the mascots. And the only rule on the green card is that they cannot cause collisions or cause a mascot to cross the finish line. Basically, those have to be done with a mascot's own card. Now, you would say, okay, this seems super random. So what gives the players a bit of agency in this game? And that's this hand of 3 cards. So before the race begins, every player is going to commit or submit 1 card to that race deck. Basically, this gives you a card that no one else knows about. Maybe you see someone bet a bunch on Mom, and you're like, oh, I have a Mom fall down card, so I'm gonna throw a Mom fall down in there, and then maybe take out their odds of winning that first place bet. So that's the part of the game that gives them control. Now, the last thing to talk about is the side bet betting tiles. So the side bet is just kind of, it gives you a prompt. It says, will at least one mascot be disqualified? So as long as this condition is met during the race and someone has bet yes, they're going to earn money. If it is not bet, then the players that bet no will earn money. Those are the rules of the game. I think we're ready to get started. Let's just start taking our bets. So I'm going to be first player here, and you know what? I'm feeling pretty confident about Gobbler right now. Gobbler is looking really good, so I'm going to take Gobbler, and when you take a bet, you have the option to do it as a safe bet or a risky bet. Now, a safe bet has pretty even payouts across first to third. The risky bet gives you a higher payout for first, but lower for second and third. So I'm a degenerate gambler, though, at this mascot race, so I'm obviously going risky on this one. Other player over here, yeah, they're saying yes to someone being disqualified and going risky. And your choice, you're going with Dangle. Dangle, that seems like a risky one, and you are going risky on that. Ooh, okay, we'll see how that goes. Next up, this player, they're going no on the disqualification. They have pretty high hopes of this one. Everyone's looking pretty good. Now, it's a snake draft. Everyone's going to be betting 2 tiles. So we're going to start back from that last player. They're going to take 1 more tile. This player is like, well, you know what? I also think Gobbler is going to do pretty well. Then what are you thinking? You're thinking, yeah, you probably need to go take a Gobbler and go risky because Dangle's not looking great and you might have made a mistake. Next up over here, they're doubling down on yes. They're going double yes on this side bet over here. Now, I've currently got Gobbler, and you know what? We are going yes on the side bet. Let's see how this goes. So that is basically the game has now been set up, and we can set up this race deck. So we're just going to gather up all these cards. Now, there are a couple rules in the rulebook that I want to call out, or a couple recommendations in the rulebook. One is that you're going to try to choose some people to assist with this game that are going to bring some energy to it. I think that's an important thing. And we'll do this once we get this race deck finalized here. So I'm going to look at my deck, or well, I've already looked at these because I've made my bet. I'm not throwing in my Gobbler Fall Down because I put a lot of money on Gobbler. But you know what? Mom, I could do we'll throw in Dangle. We're going to do a Dangle Swerve Lap. And then you guys are going to be throwing in this, this, and this. So that is the race deck ready. Now, this is the part where it helps to do a little bit of a thematic, say, okay, racers are now ready. They're at the starting line. The race is about to begin. If all you degenerate gamblers can please take your seats, we are going to kick things off. Now, this is where choose someone that is a good shuffler at your table because there's going to be a little bit of shuffling, not a lot of shuffling, but this is the part where things can slow down. Now, the other thing is you're going to have someone handling these mascots. I recommend choosing one of your more rambunctious players, someone that will maybe add a little bit of flavor during the race to this. But now that we're ready, we can get things going. So like I said, we're going to burn 3 cards, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to start revealing. So we got, we're going star for Gobbler. Gobbler takes a commanding lead. Now we're going to do a recover and then 2 for Hurley. Then we're coming up 3 for Mom. Mom is getting into the race here. Oh, and Dangle just falls down. Not looking good for Dangle. We got 1 for Hurley and a swerve right. He's veering a little bit. We got a recover and then a 2 for Gobbler here. 1, 2, Gobbler is just running away with it. Recover, then 1 for Hurley. And then we got to recover, then 2 for all mascots. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And you're up. 1, 2. Oh, and then Dangle is going 1, 2 and swerving left. He's in Hurley's lane now. And then the star, Dangle, not a great star move for Dangle. Then we got 3. Now, this is a green card. We cannot finish with a green card. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, now we have a tight race here. We got a 1 and a swerve left. Oh, Dangle is in Gobbler's lane. Not good. Mom has turned around. Mom is not facing the finish line anymore. Oh, we got a 3, then swerve left. We got 1, knocks over Gobbler. 2, and crosses the finish line. Dangle takes first, and Gobbler is down at the end. And then we got to recover, and a 1 for Gobbler. Gobbler crosses the finish line and comes in second. So, right there, that's the first part of the race. Now, we don't have all the spaces filled. We don't know who's in 3rd or 4th yet, which means that we would actually go through, we would take this deck, we would reshuffle it. We would flip this board down, basically say anyone that's behind this first white line is going to be eliminated. And we're going to, like I said, take your best shuffler and get them to shuffle this deck so we can continue this race. Now, this is the part where things can slow down a little bit. Kind of the excitement's over, like Dangle, we know who's won, people are ready to collect their money. So you want to have someone that's quick on the shuffle that can kind of kick things off and wrap things up, because we need to get to that next race to keep the energy going. And then you're just going to do this, and you do the payouts, and you do 2 more races. Now on the second and third race, you're going to be taking this race deck, shuffling it, and dealing 3 cards from this deck to each player. So essentially the same set of cards are going to be in play during the entirety of the race that you're doing, but players are going to get a new card to kind of choose from to throw into that deck. But other than that, you're going to play each round basically the same. On the last round, players do have an option to double down on one of their bets to try to increase their earnings on that last one. But this is really all the rules there are to Hot Streak. Okay, so with kind of we played part of a round here in Hot Streak. We should have a pretty good idea of the rules. What do I like about this game? I mean, it's just fun. I mean, just look, it's super entertaining. This is one of my favorite party games. It is just chaotic, it's fun, it's easy to teach, easy to bring out. The bets are entertaining, making fun of each other and just having a good time around this is a blast. Now, let's talk about, is this game overproduced? Because this is kind of expensive. It's up there like 40, 50 bucks, depending on if you get a discount or not. It's a pretty pricey party game, right? And the game, it has things that I haven't really seen in other games. Like these minis here, these pre-colored, pre-painted minis, and they're just absolutely amazing. Hopefully I can get an image of those. You can see the eyes of the person in the mascot costume, which is awesome. And then they're just like this track here, this vinyl track that rolls out of the game box. It seems a little overdone, but to be honest, I'm actually going to say that this was produced at the right level because of the toy factor of this game. Like if this had a lower production quality, I don't know if it would draw people in as much. Maybe you'd get there a little bit, but with just the craziness and the insanity of it, I think that the production really helps bring out the theme of this game. So it kind of sucks that it costs so much for such a light game, but I think that what I've got out of it has made it definitely worth it. This is, like I said, #1 party game, hands down. I find this to just be entertaining and a blast to bring to the table. So, downsides for this one. The only downsides are that, yeah, you have to have a group that wants to have fun with something like this. This is chaotic. This doesn't have a lot of player agency, not a lot of control during this. You are just having a good time during this game. And that means that, so player count, I think is kind of important to talk about here. This does play, so I think the base game's like 3 to 7, and then there's also a 2-player mode, and I think you go to 8+ or 9+ or something if you modify the rules a little bit. I have no idea why you'd play this at 2. I guess you could, but I really have no idea why you'd bring this out at 2 players. I play this at 3, but you know, at 3 players, it's just for me, there's just not enough energy at the table. Like there's not enough people to kind of keep the momentum up during this game. So that's not my favorite count. I think 4 is probably the min that I would want to play this at. I think if you get that 4 to 7, if you can get like 6 is phenomenal. I think that going higher than that, great. Yep. So the more people can have, the better it is. Now getting to that, I think it's 8 is the max, and then you can do the 9+ for the modification of the rules. Now, if you're doing the 9+, I think you have to keep track of things on paper, so you're gonna lose a little bit of the excitement and with these betting tiles and stuff. But I think that it could still play as a really good party game at that 9+ player count. Like I'd be happy to try this with a large dinner party or whatever, right? So yeah, overall, all those things are great. Now, the only downside on production is, I would say money. I do like this money. This is actually really well produced. It's just I wish they would have given you some $20 bills. Even at the 7-player game I played of this, we felt like we were running a bit low on some of the builds. But I mean, there's enough to kind of go, there's definitely enough in here. It just seems like it would have been nice to have a denomination of 20 to make it stretch out a little bit. I feel like once you get up to 8 players, that's where this money stack is. You might run out of bills when playing with that many players. Man, yeah, there's not a lot bad to say about this. It's really just cost, maybe the money there, and the fact that, yeah, you need to bring energy to the game. You're going to get out of this what you put into this game, which is what matters in this. Great party game, highly recommended. I really don't have a whole lot else to say on this. I hope that the kind of short little playthrough of this gave you a better idea of this, because it is just this lighter party game. Ideally, you'll know that if your group, if this is going to be a hit for your group or not. I think that this might be, if you played Ready, Set, Bet. Now, Ready, Set, Bet's one I haven't played myself. I've seen some playthroughs. I think this kind of reminds me of that a little bit, but is a lighter, easier teach than Ready, Set, Bet. And I feel like it's a little, you don't need to have someone that is kind of driving things. The table can kind of drive things a little bit more with that energy at the table. Then another one that I'll mention is Camel Up. So I played Camel Up a few times and it never really landed. It was always, the pacing was a bit off for a racing betting game. This one nails it. Like, for me, I would never play Camel Up again. This is the game that I'd play instead of Camel Up. Yeah, so overall, final thoughts on this. I absolutely love Hot Streak. I think this was a great purchase. I think this is probably going to show up on a lot of people's lists this year for being kind of in that top 10 list of 2025 releases. One of the other downsides is that this box is weirdly shaped, makes it hard to transport places. That's the only really inconvenient thing there it has. But overall, I love Hot Streak, and I definitely recommend this game. So thanks for watching. I hope you got a little bit more information out of this game. And I hope I didn't ramble too much, but it was a short game and I was trying to get some information. Let me know if you have any questions about this, if you played this, if you have different experiences. Has it fallen flat for you? I'd be kind of surprised if it has. And that'll do it for today's review. You're still here? You want to see the end of the race. Well, then I can guarantee this race is for you, because that makes you a degenerate gambler of mascot races. Okay, fine. Let's see what happens to Hurley and Mom in this race. Let's get this shuffled up. Let's burn those 3 cards. Let's go. Gobbler's out. Dangle's out. Dangle. Gobbler. Hurley recovered then 2. 1, 2. Hurley wins the race. It comes in 3rd. Mom is the only one left standing, coming in 4th place. We are going to process our payouts and see who wins. Now, the thing I didn't mention in this review is the fact that in the back of this book are what happens to you as a character after the game ends. So we would go through, do this 2 more times, and then whatever money people end up with, there's a life outcome for you in here. Let's just say that I won at the end. And now this is where I'll usually just read out the winner and the loser, because reading out for everyone, especially at the 7 and 8 player count, can be a little tedious. But let's say I managed to win this. I took home a sweet $59. So let's see, $59. You get yourself some rope. You can never have too much rope. And let's say our loser over here, this guy, he took home $14. $14, you're disgusted at yourself for gambling. You go to church and have them hose you down with holy water. Once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for spending your time with me.